Very good afternoon, students. You are welcome to online class of Oriental Public School. Today I am here with a video of class 10th Geography, and your lesson is 4. In this video I am going to talk about a bloodless revolution initiated by Vinoba Bhave, the spiritual higher of Gandhiji. Mahatma Gandhi declared Vinoba Bhave as his spiritual higher. He also participated in Satyagraha as one of the foremost Satyagrahis. He supported Gandhiji's concept of Gram Swaraj, means there was an intention of Gandhiji to spread the idea of Gram Swaraj, means village areas self-rule system. After Gandhiji's martyrdom, sacrifice for the nation, Vinoba Bhave, the spiritual higher of Gandhiji, undertook the work as Padyatra to spread this message throughout the country. So once when he was at Andhra Pradesh, the name of place is Pachampali, some landless farmers demanded land for their economic well-being. He assured them to talk to the Indian government for provision of the land for them if they undertook the cooperative farming. So while Vinoba Bhave was delivering the lecture at Andhra Pradesh, few landless farmers come to him and demanded, "We are landless, can you help me?" Then they told the farmers that I will definitely talk to the government if they undertook the cooperative farming for you. So inspired by his speech, Sri Ramchandra Reddy stood up and offered 80 acres of land to 80 landless farmers, and this was known as the Bhudan, because here Bhu means Bhumi. Bhudan is a Hindi word, and donation. He means he donated the 80 acres of land to the 80 landless farmers. That is, this act of donation was known as Bhudan. Later, he introduced his deals throughout the India. So some zamindars offered to distribute villages among the landless, and this was known as Gram Dan. However, many land owners chose to provide some part of their land to poor farmers due to the fear of Land Ceiling Act. So, Government of India started Land Ceiling Act, and this Land Ceiling Act was this Bhudan Gramdan movement initiated by Vinoba Bhave is known as bloodless revolution. Because why it is called bloodless? Because there was no any harm and sacrifice of people, life, etc. This was the formal talkative manner, and a revolution was completed, so it is called bloodless revolution. Now very important topic of this chapter I am going to tell you. This is the impact of globalization on agriculture. So first of all, you must know what is the meaning of globalization. Globalization is the interconnecting of a country with the rest of world, and this can be simply done with the help of trade, tourism, ecotourism, friendly relationship. Means whatever the way, if you are connecting with the rest of the world, means you are being globalized. So similarly, in the 19th century, when European traders came to India, Indian spices were exported to different countries of the world, and farmers were encouraged to allow these crops. Even today, it is one of the important export item from India. The spices were the main attractive part of the European traders to India. During the British period, cotton belts of India attracted the British, and eventually cotton was exported to Britain as a raw material for their textile industries. The Champaran movement, as you know, Champaran movement was very important movement which was initiated by Gandhiji in 1917 in Bihar in against of the forced cultivation of indigo by the British government in Bihar, because the farmers of that region were forced to grow indigo for the British textile industry. As you know, indigo is one of the important textile crop, and it is the integral part of the textile industry. Without indigo, textile industry cannot be run. Means it's not fully under valuable chain. I hope you have understood up to here. So under globalization, particularly after 1990, Indian farmers have been exposed to new challenges. Despite India being an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute, and spices, our agricultural products are not able to compete with the developed countries due to their highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. Because foreign countries, the government of that particular region provide highly subsidies to the farmers. That's why they are getting more benefit as compared to us. To make agriculture successful and profitable, proper thrust should be given to the improvement of the condition of marginal and small farmers. So the Green Revolution promised much, but it is being alleged that it has caused land degradation, many environmental problems caused by the initiative taken by the government, that is Green Revolution. The keyword today is Gene Revolution, GENE, Gene Revolution, which includes genetic engineering. It is the part of genetic engineering. In fact, organic farming is much in voyage today because it is practiced without factory made chemicals such as fertilizers and pesticides. So hence it does not affect environment in a negative manner. If you are doing organic farming, means you are somewhere protecting the environment in some way. Hence it does not affect the environment in negative manner. The Indian farmers have a bleak future, BLEAK, bleak future, if they continue growing food grains on the holding that grow smaller and smaller as the population rises, because still our population is rising at the rapid rate, but we are not under the appropriate crop pattern. So it is predicted that if the Indian farmers are continuing growing these types of crops, their future is black. The Indian farmers should diversify their cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops, and this will increase income and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously. So India's diverse climate can be harshened to grow wide range of high valuable crops, because in India we have like this climate where we can grow variety of crops whose market value is high, even it's highly demanded in all over the world. One thing is given here, do you know organic agriculture will adapt to climate change more quickly. As you know, organic farming is very much health conscious, and its products are even health conscious. And today, in race of high demand fulfillment, we have totally avoided the organic farming, and its impact we can see as well as in our life and environment. I hope today we have finished this chapter, and this is the last video of this chapter. I hope you have understood. Very soon I will come with the next video and keep the topic continued. So study properly, be safe. Thank you. Have a nice day.